Well, Merry Christmas. I'm making my homework video. Feeling very guilty. I'm about a week late. Sorry, Alan, for not getting it in sooner. I'm just holding everything back. I want to say a special thank you to Carol Wrightson. Thank you, Carol, for not turning yours in early. It just makes me feel good. Just like the students in school, when we're in trouble, we do the wrong thing. We like people to be in the same canoe with us. Just trying to put a little positive framing on our late assignments that we're turning in. This was an interesting one. Alan raises a good question. You have students who come in, they've maybe had a difficult life. They don't view the school or life or their situation, their future in a very hopeful way. And we want to turn that around. And I thought Limov had a very clever remark. He said, you know, you're faced with these issues, and sometimes you ask yourself, should I go get my real estate license? I think we've all been there. Nevertheless, he does provide some very useful answers with that technique. I think it's 43, positive framing. And, you know, in the classroom, these are mainly in the classroom techniques with positive 43, but I guess also when kids are in our office. But one of the things he suggests with technique 43 is live in the now. For the teachers we're supervising, when we teach, the lesson is on. And so there are things that are going to go awry. There are going to be some behaviors we're going to witness. And at this point, the smart thing, because you got 20-some kids in that room in all likelihood, and you want people to learn, is not to dwell on that negative. If there are really some things that need to be corrected, we're going to try to address those outside of this 47-minute lesson, because we want the show to go forward for the majority of kids. We're not going to dwell on the negative. We'll pick it up later. We're not going to ignore it, though, either. When somebody does something in the room, in terms of creating positive framing, we're going to assume the best. You tipped the microscope over. May even broke. If we don't assume the best, we might say to the student, did you do that on purpose? Why is it that for your entire school career, you've been one who's been damaging equipment and other things in this school? Do you just like doing that? Oh, no. We're not going to go there. The microscope was tipped over, maybe damaged. We're going to take it seriously, but we're not going to assign blame. We're going to assume. Yeah, I'll be up in just a minute. Okay, I'm finishing a video. Oh, man. All week this stuff has been going on. Interruptions. Also, you're teaching the lesson, and you have some students who are not doing as you instructed. You don't name those kids if you can help it. You're going to allow anonymity. So what are you going to say? I want to thank the people who have properly inserted their slide into the microscope. and have used the eyedropper with the paramecia and put 1 drop of water on the slide. Some of you now, I can see some in the class are putting way too much liquid on that slide. Remember, 1 drop will do it. I didn't use anybody's name. A better route to go. Build momentum. You're in that classroom. Things are progressing. It's not perfect, but overall you're happy. You're going to want to say to the kids, I just want to say that I've had many 7th grade science classes where we've used microscopes, and although we haven't perfected everything yet in terms of technique, overall we are making strong progress. And I would rate this class, if it's true, even though some may not be doing so hot, but the majority are, I would rate this class as one of my best 7th grade science classes. Thank you. And if your partner or the people next to you, Simba, that's Simba, our little dog who's whining here. It's another reason why I haven't been able to get my homework done. My wife, the dog, the granddaughter, our kids, demands at school. No, I'm not going to go there. That's negative. That's negative. We're into positive framing. But anyway, you're going to want to create momentum. Talk about the positive. Make it feel like we're going forward, because we are going forward, and that's a good thing. Expectations and aspirations. Kids will work hard if they believe that what they're doing in that classroom somehow is going to make for a better life going down the road. I want to say, class, today was a good day in science. We have a ways to go before we really perfect our microscope techniques. But you're going to take biology, most of you, in the 10th grade. Many of you will take anatomy and physiology. About 60% of you will go on to college. Some of you will take jobs in a lab. Being able to use a microscope properly is something that's going to be an advantage for you. And the fact that you come in here and work every day on your technique is going to allow you to succeed in the future, in your education, in your career. Give them the big perspective. You're trying to frame it in a way where they see themselves succeeding. Now, I know Mrs. Johnson launched into Technique 44, Precise Praise, and Technique 45, Warm Strict, 46, the Joy Factor, 47, Emotional Constancy, 48, Explain Everything, and 49, Normalize Error. I'm not going to go into all of those, although I felt obligated to read those after she did and started talking about them. But in all cases, all of this is to create an environment where the kids feel respected, where the kids feel affirmed, but kids aren't taken off the hook. But the corrections are not demeaning, and there's motivation built in with positive framing and the other techniques in this chapter. I think the other one that we talked about, or that we should talk about, is the emotional constancy, technique 47. I think a lot of teachers take the bait. It's a tough thing to do, to be emotionally constant, to anticipate that things are going to go wrong and not become negative and say negative things, or look perturbed. Whether you're parenting or whether you're teaching. The fact that you can convey that it's not about you, it's about them, and it's about their long-term success. And even though they're doing the wrong thing, you see in them more than they see in themselves. And that changing their behavior, becoming engaged in school, is going to contribute to their success. They need a lot of reminding of that. And I'm hoping that we'll take on techniques 44 through 49, which give us some very good and specific ideas for creating that kind of environment and convincing kids that they do need to change some things and that we're here to work with them and we value them and that they can become that person who's a contributing member to society and a successful individual. So I thought it was a good one, Alan. Don't go out and get that real estate license. You know, you get to be my age, especially if you're cutting back, going half-time. You probably can do that. But you know what? I think it's more rewarding staying in the trenches, working with kids, and trying to create that positive atmosphere where we can hopefully get them to change some of the behaviors that will allow them to be successful as a human being. Talk to you later. Thanks, Alan. Bye.